Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a rebellion, a massive rebellion taking place in Mount Kenya. They don't want to hear the name William Ruto, neither do they want to hear anything and anybody who is associated with William Samoei Ruto or anyone who is associated with the UDA government. Remember, it is the UDA government that they supported. They voted for UDA party, painting Mount Kenya yellow. This time round, the victim here is a musician who is perceived to be a Ruto apologist. His name is Martin Wajanet. Martin Wajanet is a staunch musician, an experienced musician playing the Kikuyu vernacular songs. Now, fans met him in one of the joints. And as always, a musician is someone who must endear himself to the people because he only gets his money by playing to the fans, playing his music to the fans who enjoy it. As a musician, you are a celebrity. And so when you meet your fans, it is expected that you enjoy some moments together. But Martin Wajanet is not enjoying any moment because it has become a cat and mouse game whenever they meet him. Now I want to show you this video where he was booed, heckled, chased like a thief. But I want to build for you a foundation why Martin Wajanet was being heckled so that as you watch the video, I've already painted a picture for you. Now, I'm on Wahome Thuku's timeline on Facebook and he is explaining something because a few weeks ago, Martin Wajanet had a concert. And in that concert, it is believed he was instructed never to allow Gachagua or any of his allies in that concert. Nevertheless, Gachagua stormed that meeting and it is said that they muted all the sound systems. Let's go straight to what Wahome Thuku is saying. Wahome is explaining that seasoned Kikuyu singer Martin Wajanet was funded to have this Muranga event by forces associated with senior officials of the government. The first condition was that he must not invite Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, or allow any anti-government politicians to attend. In fact, he was to try and speak positively of government however he could. Then Rigiji checks in to an ecstatic reception. Sema panic. What to do? Shut down the sound system and carry it away. Lakini watu ni nani? They made their love for the villager known very, very loudly. This, we just made matters worse. Sasa county commissioner na police commander wataona moto. Na mambo bado. As Rigathi says, you can't impeach the people of Mount Kenya. And this is the event where Rigathi Gachagua stormed and it forced the musician Martin Wajanet to mute all the sound system amidst the noise of the people who received Rigathi Gachagua. Pole pole, pole pole, pole pole, pole pole. Pole pole wewe. Now, courtesy of that event, ladies and gentlemen, it seems people went home harboring a lot of revenge and hatred against Martin Wajanet. And so when they met him this time round at one of the joints, they decided to show him and express their anger, to show him that they do not love him because he does not like Rigathi Gachagua. And that is how things are going to be, ladies and gentlemen. During this moment, you decide to take a position. You are either with the oppressed or you are dining and sleeping with the oppressor. Like it is being explained that this is a very, very experienced musician. He was once loved by the people of Mount Kenya. But during that incident, when it is believed he was sponsored by senior government officials, and he was given instructions never to allow Rigathi Gachagua after the impeachment or any of the allies, maybe the senators like Senator Nyotu, Senator Karungo Atangwa, all those senators, anyone who is closely associated with Rigathi Gachagua. Now Rigiji wanted to show him that I have the people, I am a village, and Rigiji stormed that event. And you've seen the cheers that came. I understand that the sound system was muted and they were carried away. But that did not deter the people of Mount Kenya from cheering on their leader. And then after that event, that musician has lost quite a number of his fans. Because as a musician, you only thrive on the support that you get from your fan base. If you mess around, that is it. And music is very, very delicate. It is like comedy. Anytime you mess up with your fan base and they decide to ditch you, you are gone. Especially if that is your sole source of income. And I'm wondering, why should a musician allow himself to be used by politicians? Because the last time I checked, you are supposed to look at your bosses. And in this sense, who are your bosses? The people who enjoy your music, the people who always come to your show. If you realize that the people who come to your show love a particular candidate or a particular person, please allow them. Don't get into politics, because if you get into politics, you'll be given money maybe once. And when the people realize that you are working for a particular part of the government, then that will be the end of it. You've seen how politicians who supported Rigathi's impeachment are finding it very, very difficult even to go back to their rural homes because people don't like them. And it is because before Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, there was a public participation. Mount Kenya made it very clear, crystal clear, explicit, that we are giving instructions as the people who elected you. Please vote no and try and save Rigathi Gachagua. You see, even if they had voted no, Rigathi would have still been impeached because the numbers were there. But at least they would have shown their electorate that we listened to you. And it might sound very trivial, but we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen, that our members of parliament do not listen to us. That is the example of finance bill. I keep on repeating finance bill 2023 and the finance bill 2024 that spontaneously degenerated into a Gen Z protest. Why? Because members of parliament who are supposed to help the country decided to listen to the executive. Can you imagine? Even a musician is now listening to the executive. Why do you get into a row between the president and the deputy, knowing very well that you are coming from Mount Kenya and just read the mood? It reminds me of a story I was reading about Dedan Kimathi. And I was reading this story and I was being informed that when the colonial masters wanted Dedan Kimathi, because he spent most of his life in the forest, some thicket in Mount Kenya, and one of the home guards was given that role of looking for him because there was an amount of money that was promised to anyone who would get Dedan Kimathi, the freedom fighter. So when this Kikuyu went and in his searching spree, he found him and shot him. He shot Dedan Kimathi. And they caught Dedan Kimathi and he handed him over to the colonial masters. They killed him. And I think, yeah, he went to court and he was hanged or something. Now, the story has it that the man who shot Dedan Kimathi really faced a lot of rejection. He was given money after shooting him and he went and bought a bus. But it is said no one ever boarded that bus because he had betrayed one of their own. At a time when people were fighting for freedom, the freedom of their land, freedom of their country, he decided to dine and sleep with the oppressor. In fact, it is said that that vehicle was rotting because no one was ready to board that vehicle. So at some point, I think he sold it or something, and then he opened another joint, a bar, a restaurant. No one ever wanted to be associated with it. No one went there to drink, and he closed it. Why am I telling you this? It is always very dangerous to betray your son, your brother, your daughter, like the people of Mount Kenya did. But leave alone that, the country is tired and the people are very tired. Tired of the lies, tired of the promises, tired because life is just so hard to come by. The people cannot even afford 3 meals in a day. The cost of education is just too exorbitant. The cost of just basic food. If you talk of the basic amenities like food, clothing, and water, and shelter, it's very difficult to come by. So anyone who's associating himself with this government finds it very rough. The likes of his name is Martin Janet, and that is why he was chased. That is the same fate that the governors who are associated with William Ruto are facing, the members of parliament. That is the fate of commissioners, the county commissioners who are carrying Ruto's speeches during holidays or in any event, leaders who carry Ruto's condolence message in a funeral, they are heckled, booed, or the crowd will simply walk away and abandon them there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not very easy with them. I was reading that Kimani was abandoned in church. Some governors are being heckled. Some of the members of parliament who impeached Rigathi Gachagua cannot even go back to their rural homes. And so this is a rebellion, not only from Mount Kenya, but many Kenyans have rebelled. They boo William Ruto. It is not only in Mount Kenya. The other time you saw Kithure Kindiki was people walked away from him and they were saying, you killed us during the Gen Z's protest. And this is a pointer to what is going to happen in 2027. Whoever is still lying to William Ruto that things are okay, please look at the king and tell him, you are naked. A good friend will tell you the truth. Just the other day, William Ruto charged the NIS to gauge people's opinion. Why do you even engage the NIS while you can see what is happening? The way refugees being received, the way people are saying Ruto must go Mwizi, the way Kenyans are lamenting. What is your take on how this musician was chased and booed